It's Black History Month 2022, and I really hope that it is exciting for you, but realistically, it might not. So here's allow me to share with you some reflections. So if I'm being honest, it hasn't always been for me. I I'll get to why in a bit, but this year, Black History Month 2022 is exciting for me. And it feels so good to be here and to speak with you and to feel welcomed and to feel invited because that isn't necessarily a feeling that has always been awarded to me. You see, sometimes our names and our titles tell a bit of our story, and sometimes our status and our reputation can arrive in a room before we even walk in. That's just sometimes. But I'll tell you, there is one thing that for sure draws up our identity and almost can guarantee how we're going to be perceived, and that's the color of my skin. Now, I've known this for a very, very long time. And I say this because I didn't have any of those accolades that Martin mentioned until I was 30 years old. So up until 29, I lived a pretty regular life. So I know exactly what it means to be an average Black man. I know exactly what it feels like to be an average Black man. And I also know what it hurts like to be an average Black man. And through all of that, we continue to smile. And so I know the joy it is to be a Black man. So why am I excited for this year's Black History Month? Because I actually decided to sit down with it. I wanted to sit with the idea of what it felt like. And I've decided to rework how I approach the month and what Tyrone wants out of this month. I used to always think about Black History Month as slavery. I used to always have to field questions from friends being like, well, why do we have a Black History Month? There isn't a White History Month. And why is there a BET? There's no WET. And why are there HBCUs? And sometimes I had the energy and sometimes I had the wit to answer those questions. But really, when it came down to it, I realized is that we had to create these spaces because we were excluded from others or just didn't feel welcome in the others. So where are we today and why am I excited? Well, because right now we have an opportunity to take back what Black History Month can be. So if it's not just his story and it's not our story, then this whole Black history thing becomes a mystery. And what are we actually celebrating? And I read somewhere recently where someone asked the question, why is slavery not more so on the side of white history? I mean, we were all there. I thought about that for a second, because it does seem to weigh on Black history. And Black is tied up and intertwined with a lot of negativity. It's just the words that are used in North America. As a Black male, it sounds like black male, and I'm speaking to you today. So I sat with it for a while and I asked myself, why wasn't I overly excited about Black History Month in the past? It's the shortest month of the year. Is that it? Nah, I don't think so. So what is it that I'm feeling? Or better yet, what is it that I'm not feeling? And what I'm not feeling is that celebratory energy. I started to look at the habits and holidays that are designated on our calendar, the same calendar that we all share. So if you think about holidays that are big and big commercially, Christmas, New Year's, Pride, Halloween, Valentine's Day coming up around the corner. There's something about that economical push. There's something about that incentive to be a part of it that is missing from Black History Month. And I started to realize that during those times, we all, regardless of our religions, our age, sexual orientation, we all celebrate in one way or another. See, you go to your local coffee shop and they've got colorways in other months. You go to your Uber front page and there's reflected the bus shelters, the decorations in the mall, marketing and TV commercials, the decal on our storefronts. Every other celebration, for the most part, is taken on by society. And I'm not saying that nobody does anything, but of course, it's just not that same energy. So How do we get that same energy, that to be encouraged and enthused, and apparel and the sales? I think everyone has to take a responsibility for the spaces that they occupy. And I think that we have to start making it feel like a celebration. And that is the biggest part of my reflection for today that I wanted to share with you. Um, I through the look through my timeline. I scroll on the web, and I just want to feel like a celebration. The biggest part about this is that for me, Black History Month, because it's been left to a small group or the small few that decide to do it, it felt more like a protest than it did a celebration over the last couple of years. So before we start the discussion, I really want you to decide what you're going to do this year to make Black History Month a celebration, what you can contribute to it, what you can take from it, and how you can make it feel that same energy.